Hello students, welcome to KANISHKA IAS Academy. So in this session we will be discussing about some of the important topic in the environmental sciences, environmental ecology, that is renewable sources and non-renewable sources. So in the running scenario, in the present conditions, these renewable sources and non-renewable sources become a very important topic, and it has become a very hot topic, right? See, presently in the examination point of view, there is a concept called as sustainable development, right? So in the sustainable development, there are many theories and many discussions that sustainable development is very important in the present scenario, because many fuels should be stored for the further generations, such that the further generations will also be using the fruits of the so-called fuels, right? So in this condition, we are having two kind of energy sources. One is renewable source, second will be the non-renewable source. Now, so what is an energy source? Energy source is something from which we harness the energy. For example, we have something called as solar energy. What is solar energy? The energy which is provided by the sun, we are using for our daily uses. So that energy, right? So called that energy is very important, right? In this condition, there are two types of energies. One will be renewable sources, second will be non-renewable sources. The name itself says renewable. Renewable means which we can use again. Non-renewable. Non-renewable means which we cannot use again. For example, see, if we see the definition, the renewable source. What is a renewable source? Renewable resources which can be renewed or can be reused are called as renewable resource, and the same way non-renewable resource which cannot be reused, right? See, renewable sources include sunlight, water, air, wind, etc., right? That means, see, wind, sunlight, water, but they will be renewed. They will be renewed. Renewed means, for example, today we are having sunrise and we are having sunset. After sunset, again sun will be coming. So when in the daytime we are harnessing the sun energy, that will be called as solar energy. This solar energy will be setting today and again it will be coming tomorrow. This kind of energies will be called as renewable sources. Water is a renewable source, air is a renewable source, wind is a renewable source, at the same time sunlight is a renewable source, right? Other than this, we have the other thing called as non-renewable source. That means once we use this non-renewable resource, that cannot be used again. For example, we have something called as coal. See, if we use coal, see, by burning the coal, we will generate energy. By burning the coal, we are generating the energy, right? So once we generate the energy, once coal is burnt, again we cannot bring back the coal. So when we cannot bring back the coal, that means coal has been used. This kind of source is called as non-renewable source. So they include components like fossil fuels, LPG gases, coal, and all the petroleum gases. So in the present day condition, we are mostly dependent on non-renewable source, right? Presently, we are using energy. For example, if we take electricity, what is electricity? Electricity is generated by the coal. Mostly electricity generated by the thermal generation. So in the thermal generation, coal is used. That means from the industrial revolution, when the electricity has been developed, from then we are using this coal. Presently, the coal resources have been degraded, have been depleted. That means if we go on keeping using the coal, for the future generations cannot enjoy the coal. Same way with the fossil fuels. So coal and fossil fuels will be called as non-renewable resources, right? Why coal and fossil fuels are called as non-renewable resources? Now we will be seeing. To understand that, what we require is how coal is formed and how fossil fuels are formed, right? In this session we will be discussing how coal is formed, right? Now, so what is a coal? Coal comes under non-renewable resource. Coal come under non-renewable resource. Why it is called as non-renewable, that we will be discussing. To understand this, how coal has been formed, right? So coal has been formed somewhere in the Carboniferous period, somewhere around Carboniferous period. In the Carboniferous period, this coal has been developed, and the process of regenerating coal, that means redeveloping coal or remanufacturing coal, is completely impossible. It is a nature's process. Coal is completely a nature's process, right? In this condition, so how coal is formed? In the Carboniferous period. In the Carboniferous period, for example, if I take it as a land surface, on this land surface, we are having trees. So in the Carboniferous period, suddenly what happened? This land has been divided. When this land has been divided, all the trees were buried inside the ground. That means all the trees were buried inside the ground. Here we are having trees. There is a tree and there is a tree. These trees were buried inside the ground, and above this again we are having a stone formation. Above this we are having a stone formation. this is a stone and this is a stone. So on the all sides we are having stone. On all sides we are having stone. So in this condition, what will happen? The pressure will be increasing. That means the weight of the stone will be acting on this place. The weight of the stone will be acting here. The weight of the stone will be acting here. And again on the surface, the pressure will be acting. So when all these weights are been acting on this particular area, so what will happen? Pressure is increasing. So as pressure is increasing, as we go down, even temperature is, as we go down into the deep of the earth's surface, temperature will be also increasing. So pressure increases, temperature increases. So we have a condition called as, the normal condition is pressure is inversely proportional to temperature. When pressure is inversely proportional to temperature, it is called as normal condition. But when pressure is directly proportional to temperature, this will be called as abnormal condition. In the abnormal condition, always the resultant is explosion. So in geography or in environment, one important formula to remember is pressure is inversely proportional to temperature, and when pressure becomes directly proportional to temperature, there will be always something called as explosion. Even Big Bang theory also follows the same condition, that is pressure is directly proportional to temperature. So what happened here? Pressure and temperature. So when pressure became equal to temperature, there was an explosion inside. There was an explosion inside. When there was an explosion inside, all this matter which consists in the tree started burning. All these things started burning. That means all the trees started burning. When all the trees started burning, as the stones which are surrounded, they are impermeable stone. Impermeable means which will not allow wind or water to seep into it or seep out of it, right? In this condition, when they are impermeable, this tree started burning, right? As the smoke started increasing, as the temperature started increasing, everything started increasing, this started burning and it burned completely. So when something burns completely, we call it as, normally in the time of campfires also, when we burn this wood, that wood will turn into coal. That means whenever something will burn completely, then that will be called as coal. So inside the earth's surface, trees completely burnt and they converted into coal. So this is how coal has been formed. This coal has been formed in the Carboniferous period. So when coal has been formed the Carboniferous period, so it started continuing. After Carboniferous period, in the time of Jurassic period and the Triassic period, what happened? We have something called as continental drift theory, right? That means according to continental drift theory and according to the other theories, initially Earth was in a single piece. That means initially, if I take this as Earth, see, this is land and land is surrounded by the water, right? So wherever we are having land, this was called as Pangaea. So in the Carboniferous period, Earth was like Pangaea. In the Carboniferous period, Earth was like Pangaea. Inside the Pangaea, we are having coal. So once what happened, this Pangaea started dividing. How Pangaea divided? So Pangaea became this. It divided into two parts. That means in the center there was a division. One will be called as Laurasia, second will be called as Gondwana. One is Laurasia, second is Gondwana. Again this divided into two parts. This became North America, this became South America. Here we are having Africa. From Africa, Australia has been separated, India has been separated, and this will be called as Eurasia. That means whatever Pangaea we are having today, it is divided into 7 continents. So when coal has been formed? Coal has been formed when there was a single Pangaea. So even as the land divided, even coal also divided. So now all over the world we are having coal. The proof for the all over the world we are having coal is the theory given by Alfred Wegener, that is continental drift theory. Continental drift theory states that coal was formed before the division of the earth. The best proof is Antarctica. See, Antarctica is having coal reserves. Antarctica was having coal reserves. So how to explain this? See, initially this was Africa. Let us think initially this was Africa. So here we are having India and here we were having Australia. Beyond Australia we are having Antarctica. This Antarctica divided and traveled to the south. Australia traveled to the east, India traveled to the northeastern direction, and initially Africa was horizontal. Now Africa is vertical. Initially Africa was horizontal, right? So in this condition, see, now wherever we are having Australia, that means the present location of Australia in the world map. The present location of Australia and Antarctica in the world map. So present location will be to the extreme south. In the extreme south, coal cannot be found, because for the formation of coal there should be trees. But in the present condition of Antarctica, there is no life. Life doesn't exist in Antarctica, right? If life does not exist in Antarctica, there is no chance of coal forming in Antarctica. But even Antarctica is having coal. That means this coal was formed before the division of the Pangea. That means it is formed in the Carboniferous period, right? That means it is impossible for the coal to form again. If we want coal to form again, what should happen? Again, land should divide after the division of the land. Again, the tree should be going into the earth crust, then the land should be coming, which is highly impossible. In this condition, we call coal as non-renewable resource. That is why coal is a major concept of sustainable development. That means in order that future generation should also utilize the coal, we should safeguard the coal, right? So there are different types of coal on the burning. In the conditions of burning, there are different types of coal. In the coal, we are having three types. One is peat, second will be lignite, and third will be coal, right? Even we will be having this anthracite, right? Anthracite, depending upon the carbon percentage. This coal has been divided. That is lignite, bituminous coal, anthracite coal. Lignite is the brown coal which has the lowest value, and lowest value. Bituminous coal, it is a soft coal which has high carbon content, and anthracite coal is the hard coal. Normally anthracite is the best content of the coal. That means best coal will be called as anthracite. In India, we are having lignite. In India, we have very less anthracite, but in India we are having lignite. So this is about the formation of the coal. Thank you.